In the UK, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson has left intensive care after 3 nights. According to Downing Street, Mr Johnson is still being closely monitored in St Thomas's Hospital, but now on a different ward. Mr Johnson received standard oxygen treatment through a mask, but was not put on a ventilator. The government says he continues to improve and is receiving brilliant care. Let's find out a little bit more. Go to London to speak to our reporter, Vincent McAviney. Morning to you, Vinny. So this is really encouraging news that the UK Prime Minister's condition is improving. Is it possible that he'll be allowed to go home anytime soon? And of course, what people in the United Kingdom are thinking, and his cabinet as well, when will he be able to get back to work?
Good morning, Rosie. Well, I think the Prime Minister is just in the early stages of this recovery, despite Downing Street once again issuing that line that now he's in an extremely good spirits. It's been good spirits that we've been hearing from them all week, trying to play down the condition. But, you know, people coming out of ITU with this virus, it's a matter of weeks, not days, for them to recover. And going back into a job as full on as the British Prime Minister at the height of this crisis, well, that is not going to help his recovery at all. So I think we're not going to see the Prime Minister up again until maybe the end of next week at the earliest or so, and then it will be a phased return into his role. Now, obviously, moving out of ICU means he's probably much more able to communicate. The big decision still looming over the head of the British government is what they're going to do about extending all these measures. They expire or are set for review on Monday. It was an indication yesterday from people like Nicola Sturgeon, the Scottish First Minister, that of course we're going to have to extend them. Dominic Raab trying to say, well, we'll wait till the end of next week and then we'll decide. But I think looking at the figures, it's very clear that the UK is going to have to do this, and that will be the first thing that Boris Johnson has to decide, whether he sets out a timetable, because increasingly the editorials of the paper here are calling for him to chart this roadmap out. And just for this weekend, temperatures expected to be here in the UK of 26 degrees. The government very worried that that stay-at-home message is going to be breached. And so we've got big adverts everywhere today in papers, on billboards, reminding people to have a safe Easter, because if people flout the rules over this long weekend, 4 days here in the UK, then they might have to bring in more draconian measures like those we've seen in Italy and France.